Download this code from codegive.com, link in the description below. Handling the column does not exist error in Power Automate can be crucial, especially when you are working with data sources like SharePoint, SQL Server, or Excel. This error typically arises when the flow attempts to reference a column that either does not exist in the data source or has been renamed or deleted. Here's a tutorial on how to diagnose and handle this error effectively. Step 1. Understand the error. The column does not exist error usually indicates that the flow is trying to access a column in a data set that is not available. This can happen for several reasons. The column name has been mistyped in the flow. The column was removed or renamed in the source data. The data source you are connecting to does not have the expected schema. Step 2. Check your data source. Before you proceed with any changes in Power Automate, ensure that the column you are trying to access exists in the data source. 1. For SharePoint, go to the list or library and check the column names. 2. For SQL Server, run a query to verify the columns in the table. 3. For Excel, open the Excel file and confirm the column headers. Step 3. Update your flow. If you confirm that the column exists but you are still getting an error, you might need to update your flow. 1. Edit the flow, go to the flow in Power Automate and click on the Edit button. 2. Find the step causing the error, look for the action where the error is triggered. This could be a Get Items, Select, or Update Item action. 3. Verify column names. In the action settings, check the column names used in the expressions or mappings. Make sure they match exactly with the column names in the data source. Step 4. Use error handling techniques. To prevent your flow from failing due to the column does not exist error, you can implement error handling techniques. Example code to handle errors. Here's an example of how to handle this error using a scope action in Power Automate. 1. Create a scope action, drag a scope action into your flow. 2. Add actions inside the scope, place the actions that might cause the error, like Get Items, inside this scope. 3. Add a configure run after the scope, add another action, like send an email or compose, that will execute if the previous action fails. 4. Configure the run after settings, click on the ellipsis, 3 dots, of the new action, select configure run after, and check has failed. Here is a pseudocode representation of how the flow structure might look. Step 5, test the flow. After implementing the error handling. 1. Save your flow. 2. Test the flow, trigger it with a condition that will cause the error. 3. Check the output. Verify that the error handling executed correctly and that you received the email notification or logged the error as intended. Conclusion. Handling the column does not exist error in Power Automate involves both preventive and reactive measures. By ensuring that the column names in your flow match those in the data source and implementing error handling, you can create a more robust flow that gracefully handles issues. Always remember to test your flow after making changes to confirm that it behaves as expected.